Right, so thank you to everyone that's joined us on YouTube so far. Joined by head coach Ross Embleton as we talk about, well, a bit about Tuesday night and our win at Tranmere, and also looking ahead to the weekend. So, Ross, first of all, a good win on Tuesday night. Important, obviously, to get the 3 points, but also a brilliant clean sheet.
Yeah. Yes, to all of the above, I suppose, Luke. I think that obviously run of form since our break from the COVID outbreak has not been good enough. But we felt a little bit of a pickup in the second half on Saturday. But obviously disappointing to concede and lose out on the points late on. And I think what that does is then it gives you obviously even more of a demoralising feeling. So it was important for us to reflect off the back of the good that came out of that second half and try to build on it on Tuesday. And I felt a real positive vibe, if you like, about the boys, about the attitude, the focus going into Tuesday night's game. And obviously then the performance and the result reflected that.
Absolutely. Obviously, I mentioned there about a good defensive display, and it's not just. Sorry, I had a fire engine go past there. It wasn't just one. It wasn't. It was obviously a team performance, but just to pick out Tunji Akinola, who's come into the team, and at right back putting a very solid display.
Yes, I think delighted for Tunji because he came in obviously his first choice position is centre half, but we've always known that he can cover various positions across the back four. But sometimes when you're not just a young player, when you're a player that's, finding his way or trying to get into the team, sometimes you need to just get into the team, whether that's in your favoured position or where you would choose to go and play first and foremost. So Tunji's done that in probably what would be perceived as his second choice position. But I think Tuesday night, especially, his defensive qualities really came out. He's defending in 1v1s in wide areas was really, really good. He limited the amount of crosses that Tranmere were unable to put into the box, and he gave us a real platform to build upon. And I think our biggest issue so far this season has been some of the goals that we're conceding. So if we can defend like that, and Tunji and the other players, wherever they are in the back four, can start to put more displays like that, we limit people the opportunities. And I think that was the big thing for us Tuesday, was we obviously didn't concede, and we're delighted at that, but we didn't give up too many chances. I don't think Loz had a save to make. There wasn't really those sort of sustained periods of us having to defend. We relieved the pressure really well when we needed to, and we were unable to, which enabled us to get up the pitch. So delighted for Tunji that he's come into the team, because his performances for me have been great in terms of the start to getting in the side. But it must play on your mind a little bit if you're not winning games off the back of your performances for him.
Yeah, but in terms of across the rest of the team as well, we are starting to see a real competition for places, not just in right back, but obviously with Louis Dennis and Lee Angle still to come back into the team. It must be a kind of a good headache as a manager to know that you've got the strength in all those positions.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's great to have that competition for places. It then tests me differently as a manager, I suppose, in terms of it's not just all about what you do out on the coaching pitch and exactly what team you pick. Soon enough, if we carry on with the way that we are in terms of the players returning from injury, etc., we're going to have a number of players that miss out on the bench. I mean, we saw it Tuesday night that Lou was very close to being back, that Jordan Thomas travelled and never got in the 18. So it gives me a bit of a different thing to think about, because then it's not just about, like I say, picking a team and picking a bench. It's about making sure that you try to keep the boys that are motivated, that are not in and around it. So that's a big part of what me and my staff are having to do this year. But it makes it a bit of a different selection issue if you're picking up wins, because it means that the boys in the teams are performing. So we have to keep that competition for places. We have to keep people motivated. So when you look at Jordan Maguire-Drew coming into the team on Tuesday, I thought he performed well, but it's a nudge it's a nudge to Connor to remind him of Jordan's qualities, and that no one can afford to sit back and rest, because there'd be someone ready and willing to come into the team and perform and take their place.
Just one more on Tuesday night. Obviously, it's another game and another goal for Danny Johnson. But as a coaching setup, you must have been delighted with the way that goal came about.
For me, the goal is up there with any of the goals since I've been in charge of the team. Obviously we've scored some worldies. To note something like Jordan Maguire-Drew's free kick last year. I remember Josh Wright getting a real good one. I forget off the top of my head who was against last season from outside the box. Some real top class individual goals, but there's been one or two that really stick out in terms of team goals. But that one on Tuesday night was nice, because we'd done some real work on the training pitch to get us ready for the game and improve some of the things that we'd feel we've fallen short on, and what we ask of some of the players, the positions that we ask of people. It came in an abundance in that move, as well as a number of others that we obviously identified during the game. But I thought it was fantastic for it to start from the goalkeeper and the number of passes that we played. I think it touched every player on the pitch, bar Tunji. Great strike from Connor, but then the composure from Craig Clay to pick Danny out and obviously for Dan to roll and finish it was pleasing.
Absolutely. Looking ahead now to the weekend, and we're taking on Stevenage, a very pretty different outfit from last year. Obviously, Alex Ravel now in charge. What are you expecting from his side?
We've had them watched, and it's a very well organised team. There's some a good mixture of experienced players in there. Obviously the standout ones for any Orient fan would be people like Vince a lot, people like Cuthbert. Just to name two, but there's a number of experienced players in their squad, and it looks as if Alex has really worked them to be very well organised and hard to break down. They've probably not got off to the run of results that he probably would have liked, but what their scores do reflect is they're always in a game. They lost 1-0 on Tuesday night, and there's been a number of games like that where they're never really out of sight, so they're constantly always in it. So we know it's going to be a very very tough game. It's going to be a difficult place to go, but a little bit of a nicer place to go after some of the journeys that we've experienced in recent weeks. So yes, there'll be challenges, but we're in a good place. We feel confident, and we're excited about the opportunity to go there and try to win the game of football.
Just how important would it be for back-to-back wins? Obviously, league campaigns are kind of made up of putting those runs together. If we can get another 3 points on Saturday, it's a massive step forward, isn't it?
It's huge, and it's even more huge because we haven't picked up enough wins so far this season. So there's by no means are we a finished article because we went away to Tranmere and won 1-0, and by no means, there was a lot of things in the performance that we want to refine and get better at, and we know that there's certain teams that are going to put up different challenges against us. So we're not going to sit back and we enjoyed that win. It was a nice feeling to travel back all that way on the coach, knowing that we'd picked up 3 points. But it's about building, like you say there. Momentum's a wonderful thing. We know what that felt like at the start of the season. It wasn't that long ago that we were sitting here saying what a fantastic start it was to the season. But ultimately, a lot of those wins came in the cup. So we feel as though, and I know the players do really feel as though we know what we should be about and how good we can be when we get onto the things that we know we're good at, which we did on Tuesday night. So we have to do that to continuously to pick up points and keep putting in performances like we did on Tuesday.
Obviously, we'll take things one game at a time, but next week we see the visit of Exeter, followed by Bolton Wanderers. So again, on the horizon, there's another big week coming, isn't there?
Yeah, they don't seem to be going anywhere, and I sort of had a bit of more of an extensive look at the fixture list yesterday when we got in the morning, and I was looking at it thinking, wow, I didn't realise quite how many Saturday Tuesdays we have. I knew it was extensive, but the real detailed look at it all really sort of showed us. And yeah, they're all a challenge. I think already we've seen so far this season that not just from our own results, but from results across the league, is that, you know, teams are beating each other. Perhaps teams have got off to different starts that ordinarily probably would have gone under the radar at the start of the season. So, you know, we want to be that team that, you know, keep causing eyebrows to be raised when you when you win a game of football in terms of picking up those points. So, like I say, a feel-good factor. I felt the feel-good factor before the game on Tuesday, and it's about building on that now. It's tough, it's different, it's so unique for us in terms of the amount of time that we get in to do any sort of preparation, which is well documented, and it's the same for everybody or for most clubs. But it's also really tough to try to keep that sort of feel and momentum because of how fragmented everything is after the COVID and the protocols that we have to follow now. You know, having to be sat on 2 buses, having to not be able to sit in the canteen area, if you like, and have lunch together. All those little things that help build camaraderie and togetherness have been tough, but we're constantly reviewing how we do it and trying to make the best of the scenarios on that front. And like I say, the positive for all of that is that, you know, it feels good right now in terms of the way that the feel I get from the boys.
Yeah, we briefly spoke earlier about Louis Dennis. Is there a kind of more detailed injury update on him and as well Lee Angol, who's obviously having a spell on the sidelines at the moment?
Yeah, Lou trained yesterday. I think I said after the game on Tuesday night that he travelled. He'd done some extensive running work before the game on the pitch. I felt it was important that Lou travelled and become part of the group again because obviously he's been out of it with his injury of late. So we're excited to have him back. He provides that competition for places that you just mentioned, but he provides a real difference and a real quality that we probably haven't seen enough. I've seen it enough to know that he's going to be in a good place when he returns. But people haven't been able to see him on a regular basis. But what he has done when he's been on the pitch has been very good. So we're excited to have Lou back and around it and contesting for a place. I think he's still going to be a little bit of a wait for Lee. I think I've said already before that it wasn't quite as serious as we felt. But the problem with anyone picking up a little niggle or a little injury at the moment is you only have to be out a couple of weeks to miss 6 or 7 games. So I know that Lee is pain-free in terms of the testing and the medical things that he goes through day to day at the moment, so which is a really good sign. But there's obviously, when it's a hamstring injury, it's such a major muscle for a footballer and a player that's as dynamic and as explosive as Lee, that we've got to make sure that we give him every bit of time and every bit of care to make sure that when he comes back, he can stay back and playing in the team again.
Yeah, I think just finally as well, we've seen obviously the likes of academy graduates like Hector Cipriano, Jaden Sweeney, Brendan Shabani, to name a few, around the first team. Are they going to continue to kind of push for that first team, or are you looking to kind of utilise any loans? Lost you there.
There will be a potential for loans for some of those. Have you got me?
Yeah, we've got you back.
Have you got me, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. There will be potential for loans for some of those boys. It was important really that we gave them a platform to be in the team or being around the team. And obviously the real difficult thing for those 3 individuals that you mentioned there is the amount of football that they missed at the start of the season. It was freaky really that the 3 of them, who get on really well, obviously played youth team football together, all suffered injuries at exactly the same time, and then all returned at almost exactly the same time. It was quite uncanny, really. So we needed to give them time to get back, get ready. I would love to see them get the opportunity to be close to it when we come around to the Charlton game, in order to give them a platform to be around and prove what they're about in a Leyton Orient environment. But if further down the line we feel that it's right for them and right for their careers and their opportunities for them to go out and play men's football, then that'll certainly be something that we'll look to do. The great thing for us is that despite the window being shut for at our end, we can still loan into the National League, the National League South, and obviously anything below that. So it creates real good opportunities for any of our young players, including the youth team boys as well, to go out and play men's football.
Absolutely. Well, I think we'll wrap up there. So again, a thank you to head coach Ross Embleton, who's joined us today to answer a few questions ahead of our trip to Stevenage at the weekend. Match passes are on sale from the Leyton Orient website for just £10 in the UK and £7 overseas. So make sure to get yours as we take on Stevenage. That leaves. That's it. Thank you.